ladies and gentlemen, I was very impressed with the in-depth of the research done. It is so well put together that it should even stop us from discussing further. IMANI is saying that they eat data. And what do they do with data again? What did they say about data? They sleep with data. And we produce evidence. May I also add something that I also believe that data is stronger than the devil. So continue to bring us data so that it will help us shape our thinking and move the nation forward. So I am impressed with what's been done, but if you want me to develop a few things, I'll do it later.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Now, I do not think that the sense of local content is lost on anybody. You have the time. It's an impoverished environment, economic environment. Now there is a foreign intervention. But in order not to shortchange the local people, let's see how they fit into the overall strength of the foreign investor. That is my sense of it. So in a scenario in which there is local strength and there's local competitiveness and we have the competitive edge, then the whole concept of local content becomes redundant. It doesn't matter at all. And I think it is very important to pay regard to the only definition we have about local content. There have been a lot of importation as to what it means. The only relevant law we have is the LI 2204. And if you permit me briefly, I'll let you understand that it's been defined from our perspective. And I want to quote it. LI 2204, it touches on the oil and gas industry, seeks to promote the maximization of value addition and job creation through the use of local expertise, goods, services, business, and financing in the petroleum industry, value chain, and their retention in the country. Develop local capacity in the petroleum industry value chain through education, skills, transfer, and expertise development. Transfer of technology know-how, active research and development programs, achieve the minimum local employment level and in-country spend for the provision of the goods and services in the petroleum industry value chain, increase the capability and international competitiveness of domestic businesses, and achieve and attain a degree of control for Ghanaians over development initiative for local shareholders. And the rest of it are well stated and articulated. I am of the humble view that we should have an overhaul of the corpus of the laws for local content. I do not believe that we should just look at the oil and gas. Do we have a mother document which is of legislative consequence, which gives us the broad outlines of local content? And then, where it is situation specific, we can extract legislative instruments from the statutory instrument. So this is something that we should look at. If not, what we're going to have is what the lady underlined. Mining has their understanding of local content. This other dimension, industry is struggling to have local content. And there will be a whole confusion as to what local content is by operation of law. I believe it shouldn't be a policy. It should be elevated to law. And that is when we have the bite, consistency, and the comprehension. I want to maybe state a position about where I am, because I wouldn't want to pretend I understand local content across board. So if you permit me, where I am seated now as the minister, some of the things I've seen about local content. The first is that if you are not careful, it becomes a fetish, what local content is all about. And it becomes a populist thing, trying to make political capital when they've not developed what it takes to bring them on board. For instance, I have seen world-class Ghanaian architects and the structures that they've designed, the kind of, what's it called, the jobs they are doing. And it seems to me that you have foreigners who bring in their world-class architecture also. But they do not go through the Architectural Council to certify them that what they are bringing into this country is very good. So we open the door for foreign architects to come in here. They are not licensed to practice here, and they come and do business here. And we are pressing very hard that unless you can pass through our laws of architecture, we should leave this business to our people. And if you care to know, you can hire them. The foreign investor could hire the local architects and be shocked the kind of jobs that they can do, and that is going to help us tremendously. We want the blend. The local people are extremely good. We should use them, especially in the area of architecture. I believe is one area that we are looking at from my ministry. Now, in the area of building and construction, we have real challenges. If you pay regard to modern housing construction, they are moving from the traditional way of building to another level in which a factory is sited to do prefabricated material. And if you care to know, some of the factories will roll out the prefabricated material for the construction, and the time allocation for the construction is shortened, because instead of you going in a way, they bring certain levels of prefabricated stuff, they just hit the ground and they are going. Are we ready to bring our people to this kind of level? I think there's a challenge there, seriously speaking, in trying to get prefabricated levels of construction in Ghana, and our construction industry should wake up to that. The next one of chief concern to me is drainage and sewage. Where is the local content when Israeli architecture is saying that, this huge, hotel we have, they will not disturb the integrity of the structure. They will go underground. And every filth of consequence should go underground. That's the modern trend. I wonder which of our local engineers will be able to come strong and say that, well, this dimension, I will take it up. If we gave them the jobs also, the end result is that they will hire these people to come and do the jobs. So we need to up our game. I want to talk about coastal protection, and then I add on to what you've said about the solutions. Relating to coastal protection, we are aware of how the sea is so ferocious, eating our lands. The local people are doing well. Why? We have the raw material in the backyard. The boulders in the concessions we give them. So they blast the boulders and bring the boulders to the shore to protect the sea from coming onto the land. The modern trends are that is very rudimentary. The cheapest thing to do is to lift boulders and drop them in the sea. What they are doing is that they are pushing the sea backwards. Local content is being challenged here. Are we powerful enough to push the sea backwards, reclaim the land where the sea is occupying, erect a world-class hotel overseeing the sea, so that you have individuals coming to Ghana, that the sheer fact that when you are on the 10th floor of a structure, a world-class hotel, you will see the beaches. Clean, decent, people even can come and swim midnight if they have to swim midnight. So what do we do? Are we going to say in the name of local content, we shouldn't use the best of technology to improve the economy? It's a real challenge that, as my brother was saying, that in terms of construction industry, and if you want to do the worth analysis, you find 90% skewed in favor of the foreigners and just 10%. Somebody said, in terms of our democratic governance, it's an insult. But I'm afraid, what are you going to do if the local person is not building capacity? Now, are you going to say that we shouldn't build capacity so that they compete favorably with the foreigners because we want the money to stay here? My last statement is that if local content is of consequence to the nation, I propose that there should be a budget line. Every year, the Minister of Finance will have a budget line and see how we bring our locals to that competitive edge. So we have money for that. If we are not able to build our own, and we want to just look at it from the perspective that this is a neo-colonial arrangement, and here we have foreigners coming to do serious things and taking all the profit margins away, I'm afraid this functional arrangement will continue, because local content, I will submit, should not hold sway over excellent deliveries. I believe in that, because it becomes very expensive to promote a local arrangement, and it's shortly done, and it costs the nation more in the long run. So let's have a whole arrangement in which the local content is being supported in terms of governmental intervention. Where do we find the individuals who want to, or the companies who want to do local participation, and how do we enhance their capacities? Are we able to pay for that? Are we able to give them the best quality modern trends and training? So when you bring, excuse me to say, an Israeli a construction arrangement here, they will be able to teach them. I've seen a few of our Ghanaians teaching World Bank as to how to solve the other challenges. Very good engineers, but the question is, if they didn't have the same exposure, and when I interrogated it, they had the exposure from the World Bank itself. So these are retired World Bank consultants helping the World Bank do the jobs. So I think what we should do, and it's very, very, very significant, is that let's pay good monies to up our game. If not, I do not see why you should complain that I do not have the expertise. When you have challenges with your teeth, you don't give it to a carpenter, you give it to a dentist. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. To be included in such a broader law as you are suggesting. And also, you said that local content should not hold sway over excellent delivery. And you cited the example of, say, if you are having a huge construction project which requires an Israeli who has the competence. But if you look at your sector very well, local content losses are being made at even the lowest level. So these days, if you need the best stylists, like this nice styles you've seen here, you see a lot of contractors going for Togolese tilers to come and do these things. In this regard, what is your position and how are you planning to fix some of these things?
Well, in the construction industry, I will tell you that I do not think we are very disadvantaged in terms of local content. The only thing that you see is that if the whole structure is gargantuan, if you like, and it will baffle some people as to what kind of cranes and with respect the machinery that is required, that you will need a foreigner to bring these high levels of machinery. But as to the local jobs, block laying, even painting or designing of some consequence, I can assure you that is never, 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 never deficient in the construction sector, as I've come to inherit it. And this is what they are doing. They've also realized that it's cheaper to hire subcontractors of the local economy to help them out, and then that will show up their profits in the long run.
Okay.
And this is what is available.
Okay. All right. Thank you.